So, reading around, and this is news that is big for Dallas fans, myself. No, I didn't forget the Stanley Cup video. I'm going to do that one first thing tomorrow. I'll do 2 of them tomorrow. That'll take me 97 and 98. Does anybody remember who won those years? I'm not going to do them together, I promise. That wouldn't be fair to the fans of that team. So, the Dallas Stars are celebrating their 25th season. This ties into the video I did earlier about Minnesota. And the question of whether or not a team's history counts from before they move. The answer is yes. I'll tell you why. So, when the Dallas Stars moved, there was a lot of things that happened. The Gunn brothers wanted out of Minnesota, so the NHL said fine, and they were given San Jose. San Jose expansion team. There was an expansion draft, then there was a dispersal draft, where Minnesota North Stars players in their depths and their prospects were shuffled off to San Jose. This was considered a dispersal to make up for the contraction of the mid-70s when the Cleveland Barons were contracted and merged with the North Stars, which partly led to them being a very good team in the 80s because they got another team's prospects and players. That kind of depth is admirable and is something that other teams look up to. Just imagine if a team contracted now. Just imagine, let's just say Carolina falls through. And the Carolina Hurricanes are like, well, we don't have a team, and they merge with the Islanders. Let's just say the NHL says, well, we've got to prop up the Islanders. You can have all the Hurricanes. What kind of team could the Islanders put on the ice? Thankfully, it was the Cleveland Barons. They weren't a great team. The North Stars weren't a great team either, so it didn't hurt as much. But it was a legacy that continued up until 93. So they wanted to move to the Bay Area. They couldn't. The team gets sold off, and even the new owner goes, no, we're not making money. Nobody's showing up to watch the Minnesota North Stars, a team which was a disaster. The Minnesota North Stars, the Stanley Cup final appearance in 1991 aside, they were a disaster. Absolute, complete, unadulterated disaster. So, fans were staying away. And a phone call's made to a guy in Texas who says, yeah, I'll take him. And the Dallas Stars are born. They were never called the Lone Stars. I remember there was a rumor at the time that they were going to be called the Dallas Lone Stars. And it went back to Dave Hodge, who was going down to Dallas. I believe he worked as their play-by-play or their color guy. He worked for the Dallas Stars the first couple years. And he was asked by Dan Russell in Vancouver about the Lone Stars rumor, and he said, this team is not going to be called the Lone Stars. That has never been an idea. They will be the Dallas Stars. Lone Stars, not even a consideration. And if it had been Lone Stars, we'd be looking at jerseys which would resemble the Houston Texan jerseys. No, they stayed with basically the same jersey. Remember, before the Minnesota North Stars moved to Dallas, they switched to that star logo with stars written over top. When they moved to Dallas, the only difference that was there the first year was that they had the Texan map on the shoulders. It was still stars. Dallas didn't show up until a year after that. And then they turned the colors down. They made the green darker. And they messed with the jersey a bit from there. But they were still the North Stars, just the Stars. That's it. And you look at the lineage. You look at the fact that Mike Modano was a hero in Minnesota. Team moves to Dallas. He's a hero in Dallas. Neil Broughton, hero in both. You can look at Winnipeg and Arizona, and you can make an argument that maybe things are different because Arizona didn't maintain anything really of the Winnipeg legacy, because there really wasn't one left when Winnipeg came over. When the Minnesota North Stars came over, they may have been a bit of a disaster, but there was a lot of players who had an attachment to Minnesota that then had an attachment to Dallas. So this is the same organization. That's why I still cheered for them after they moved to Dallas, because they were a disaster in Minnesota. I remember the first year that cheerleaders were in hockey was in Minnesota. And I watched a game. I don't remember if they were playing Edmonton or Vancouver. I can't remember which one. I know it was on TSN. And I would watch. They showed the cheerleaders, and while the play was going on, they'd sit down. When the play wasn't happening, they'd get up and dance in the aisles in their pom-poms like they were cheerleaders. They never had a problem finding an empty seat, which I thought was funny and sad. So the move to Dallas made sense. So 93, 17, 18, we're forgetting that they lost a season to the lockout, I guess, because technically it's their 25th year. It's not the 25th season, I don't think. I'm not going to sit and do the math right now. But there's some nice things they're doing. So on November 24th, there will be a Victory Green carpet walk. So going into the arena, and if you've been a Dallas Stars season ticket holder since the 93-94 season, you get to walk that green carpet with hockey players, with the real deal, with a guy like Jere Lehtinen. Jere Lehtinen, 3 Selke trophies, 1999 Stanley Cup. He had 10 goals that year. Pretty good for a defensive forward. 875 games, all with Dallas, 514 points. They are retiring his number, which is easy because I think he wore 26. So it's not a big deal. But for him it is. And for me it is. He was one of my favorite players in Dallas. And I'm glad to hear, too, that over this season, Brendan Morrow, Marty Turco, and Guy Carbonneau will be coming in for autograph sessions with fans. And they're going to have retro nights. The other reason I'm doing this video is because they're doing retro nights. So the Dallas Stars, before the game on November 24th, are going to wear retro jerseys for the warm-up. Adidas isn't making third jerseys. Nope. There won't be any third jerseys in the NHL. Just the home and away. That's it. There won't be any cash grabs this year other than the fact that you have to buy 62 jerseys if you want to have the current ones. I'm sure Dallas won't be selling retro jerseys. I'm sure Adidas won't be making retro jerseys. I've been anti-Adidas jerseys. If there's a retro jersey coming out for the Dallas Stars, if it's going to be from that first year before it said Dallas over the top, I don't have that jersey. I will be buying it. It's a beautiful jersey. So I'm very excited about what Dallas is doing here. They showed up in 1993. They were a disaster of a team. And within 5 years, in 99, they won the Stanley Cup. And in the years before and shortly after, they were a contender. As long as they didn't meet Detroit in the playoffs, they were okay. I'll get into Detroit tomorrow with some stuff, I think. Detroit won a couple of Stanley Cups, right? I think it was in the 90s. Might even be back-to-back. I'm not sure. I can't really remember. But between then and this year, the 17-18 season, Dallas has been a very successful franchise. Season ticket sales have been a little less predictable than they were in the beginning. And sure, fan excitement is not what it was when they were Stanley Cup champions. But I'm very happy about this. I'm very happy to know that a team that I cheer for is doing something really nice like this for its 25th anniversary. And that they're going to retire a number of a guy that I cheered for every single game he played in Dallas. I can't remember a game where I ever said Jere Lehtinen didn't show up tonight. I can't remember one. He's, let me just take a look at his stats here. I mean, his first season he had 28 points in 57 games. That was 95-96. His last season he had 17 points, 4 goals, 58 games, and that was 2009-2010. He played 108 playoff games, 27 goals, 49 points. And he was originally drafted in 1992 by the Minnesota North Stars. So he's North Stars property, moved to Dallas, came up and played in Dallas in 95-96. And I'm really looking forward to this. This is fun. This is good stuff. When I look at stuff that I want to do in this coming year, seeing the Dallas Stars for their 25th anniversary would be nice. That would be really fantastic. And that might happen. There is something that I'm not announcing publicly, but I may get a chance to see Dallas, and I don't mean in Vancouver. So we'll see what happens. There's no guarantees on that, so I'm not making any statements yet, but there's a probably 50-50 shot at this going on, and I think it'll be fantastic. So As I was told yesterday, you have to have your hero moments. And this is a hero moment for the Stars. 25th anniversary. Bringing guys in from Stanley Cup championship team of year past. And giving some thanks and something back to players who've played there before. Anytime an organization does this, I'm a huge fan. So I will be looking around for other instances of this going on. If there's any other number retirements that you think I should give a shout out to on this channel, let me know in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, especially if you're a Dallas fan right now. Because I do cover all 31 teams as much as possible. But I do admit, Vancouver, Boston, and Dallas have a special place in my heart, and I will not deny it. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.